Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and their chances at winning the championship and going back to back. Of course, I think it's hard to go back to back in any sport because each team that's going against you is going to try to take you out. They're getting better. They're adding pieces in order to take you out. Of course, in the Western Conference, you got the Utah Jazz that got in better. You got the Phoenix Suns that have loaded up and gotten better. And of course, you got the Clippers that are actually I think a little bit better than last year because they added Serge Ibaka to the mix. So I think it gets tougher each year to win a championship. And then you want to look at the Eastern Conference, you also got the Brooklyn Nets who added James Harden to already having Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. That's going to be a tough test for the Lakers if they do make it to the finals. But to simply answer the question I'm titled the video, do I think the Lakers can go back to back and win a championship? I think yes, and here's why. They have a championship experience now. They have players like Alex Caruso, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Anthony Davis, who now have that championship experience. Of course, last year LeBron James had it, but now they all have it, or whoever was on the roster last year has that championship experience. Of course, they also added players like Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, two Six-Man of the Year candidates, with Montrezl Harrell winning it to the mix. They have not won a championship, but they're still really good players that can add to the mix. It's a different look for the Lakers. They're not going back in with the same look as last year. They added pieces in order to go in with a different look. So I think that's going to be helping them in the long run. There's also a couple key things I think the Lakers need to do in order to go back to back, and here they are. Okay, so the number one thing, I think this is a pretty obvious one because this is the case for any team that's contending for a championship. The Lakers need to stay healthy. Of course, this year they've been hit with injuries. Anthony Davis has been out for most of the year with a calf strain, Achilles tendonitis. He's been out for a lot of games. You also got players like Alex Caruso, Marc Gasol, Dennis Schroeder missing because of the health and safety protocols. Also, they haven't been able to practice together too much because they've limited the practices due to the pandemic. So it's been tough for them to build that team chemistry. Of course, Anthony Davis has not been playing for a lot of games this year. Last year, he played for a lot of games. All their players played for a lot of games. They were able to build that chemistry together. So no one really got hurt too much last year. So that really helped them on their quest for a championship. This year has been different. There's a lot of players that have been hurt, have been out due to the health and safety protocol. So I think that's number one on the list, health-wise. They need to stay healthy. Also, they need to stay away from those health and safety protocols in order for them to play and go out to the playoffs and win that championship. So the second thing on my list is team chemistry. Of course, I think this goes hand in hand with injuries and the health and safety protocols. Last year when the Lakers won the championship, they were able to stay healthy for most of the year, so they were able to build that team chemistry, and it seemed like that team chemistry was off the charts. They fooled around with each other. They know where one another was on the court, so they really were able to build that team chemistry. This year, like I said, has been a lot different because a lot of players have been to get hurt. They've also added players like Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder to the mix that are new players that haven't been able to play with this system yet, so they haven't really been able to create that team chemistry. So I think it's important to have a full lineup, at least maybe 10, 15 games before the playoffs start, so that way you can build that chemistry. You know where each other is on the court. I think that's very important for Lakers' chances going back to back and winning another championship. So they need to build that team chemistry together, need to play games together, and everyone needs to get back in order for them to form that team chemistry. The last thing on my list is the trade deadline and buyout market. Of course, the trade deadline in the NBA is March 25th, so you'll see all the trades happening before then, and then by March 25th, those players that don't want to be on the team, they'll possibly be bought out and be available to be picked up on the buyout market. Of course, the Lakers don't have a lot of assets to trade. They don't really have any first-round picks. They don't have any first-round picks. I believe they can't even trade any first-round picks to 2027. They also don't have that many young players unless you want to trade Taylor and Horton Tucker. So I don't think there's really much in the trade market for Lakers, but I put it on here because you always want to look just to see what's out there in case anything pops up. You will want to look at it. But really where I think the Lakers should strike is the buyout market. Of course, I think the Lakers are missing a center. I think last year they got rid of Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, who were really good shot blockers. They protected the paint for the Lakers, and it was great to see. But of course, they were able to grab Marc Gasol, and they thought maybe he could fill that void, but he hasn't been great this year. He hasn't been able to fill that void of a shot blocker. So I think the Lakers really do need to look for that if they can, and see if they can find it. There's names like Hassan Whiteside and Andre Drummond, so I would definitely look at them. The reason I would look at Andre Drummond is because I think the Nets are actually really interested in him too. And if you're the Lakers, you do not want the Nets to scoop him up instead of you. So if you have a chance to grab Andre Drummond, I would say pick him up. In part of the reason that way the Nets don't pick him up because you don't want them to add Andre Drummond to that really talented mix already. So you really want to pick up Andre Drummond if you have a chance. I think he'd be a great piece just to add in there in case you need him. I'd also look at 3-and-D wing defenders because of course Lakers 3-point shooting hasn't been great. So I would also look at some 3-and-D wing defenders to see if you can throw those in, see if that would work, because they thought Wesley Matthews would be that. Wesley Matthews has not played great, so I would go ahead and look at the 3-and-D wing defenders as well if you have a chance. So the buyout market is definitely a place that I think the Lakers need to look at if they have a chance, see what players are out there and see what they can do. So yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. That's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my reasons behind why I think the Lakers can go back to back and how they can go back to back. Of course, I'm a Laker fan, so I hope they go back to back, but we'll see what happens. But if you guys have any opinions on this matter, please leave it in the comment box below. Let me know what you guys think. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.